welcome to the Starside Lounge. I hope you enjoyed our pleasant intro music that was made by our very own Master Biggie. My name is Duncan, and I am joined in the recording studio here in the Starside Lounge with my friend Bjorn.
Rawr.
Nice. How's it going, Bjorn?
It's going really well.
That's good. I'm also joined here by Master Biggie himself, Colin.
Hey.
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 How are you?
I'm doing great. I just listened to some really cool intro music that you made.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
And of course...
What is this podcast rated?
Hello, and welcome to the Starside Lounge. Call our special 900 number, and... I don't know where that was going. And if you couldn't tell already, I'm also joined by Grim Brother 1.
I was going to make the Metal Gear exclamation point sound, but I don't know if I would have come over so well.
Anyway, it's been about 3 weeks since our last podcast, I believe. Roughly, depending on when we actually publish this one and get it out there. But there's been a lot going on since then. I guess shortly after we posted episode 1, official episode 1, we put out our Chris Butcher interview that we recorded at E3. That was a lot of fun recording that. Chris was a great guy. Sat down with us for, I don't know, how long was it?
It was a good at least 30 minutes or so.
Yeah. It was a while. I was surprised he had that much time.
I don't think he did have that much time.
Yeah, that's probably true. We probably screwed up somebody else's.
We just didn't stop talking.
Screwed up somebody else's appointment, but that was really great. Unfortunately, we had some microphone issues, so we sort of had to get creative with the editing of that interview. I know Colin spent a lot of time trying to make it into a coherent conversation, or at least a Q&A session. But I think it turned out pretty well. I think everybody appreciated that. We certainly didn't get to everybody's questions that were posted on the forum, but we tried asking as many of them as we could.
There were a lot more questions that were asked that we just got. We're not talking about that right now, so we cut most of those because they're not talking about that right now.
Yeah, that makes for a pretty boring interview video when half your questions get the same answer. Which, I mean, it obviously isn't Chris's fault.
It's Chris's fault.
It's more in nature of the fact that we really did ask every question that we could while we had his ear. But I thought that video was pretty great. It was also neat seeing a couple interviews with Chris from some like New Zealand news outlets. We posted those to the front page. I thought that was interesting. Those, I guess one was like a news channel from New Zealand, just sort of being really interested in the fact that that's where he's from.
Yeah.
Thought that was cool. But anyway, so since then, there's been this tiny little celebration that we like to call Bungie Day.
Bungie Day
happened.
Bungie Week.
It was more of a Bungie week.
That's true.
It was a lot of stuff. I don't know. What did you guys think of Bungie Day, Bungie Week overall? Colin?
Oh, I knew you'd do that.
Yeah. I'll throw it to you first. Put you on the spot.
So what happened? A lot happened. I'm gonna have to think for a second.
Okay, well, we started out with, I guess this is probably a better way to structure things. We started out day one of Bungie Week. Was it with Legacy Redefined or something? They finally threw a bone to the old Mythic members of the forums and gave everybody an indicator of their tenure on Bungie.net. A neat little loot icon with the number of years you've been, or your account has been active.
That's always fun to see.
Yeah, I thought that was neat. It's a pretty small thing, but certainly appreciated. Then
it's cool to see like the longevity in the community too.
Oh yeah.
And then that way too. If you see like a number 1 pop up, you're
like, get out of here.
I'm actually amazed, how much of the community is new, based on the fact that they've been doing nothing for the last couple of years. Like Bungie.net is basically stagnated, but there are a bunch of new accounts active in the forums and that sort of thing. And maybe it's people who are playing PlayStation and are getting interested in Destiny, but
anyone who has a number 2 on their name is super dedicated.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's like the sweet spot of you shouldn't be here.
It showed
like
up.
a 3 or a 4, you're like, oh, okay, some reach stragglers, and like a 1, like, oh, you liked D3, didn't you? But a 2, that's just hardcore faith.
You showed up during the dark times,
right? It's like, who brought you to church?
That was pretty cool. It was also neat seeing like the oldest accounts out there. I think was it Akronos was.
Yeah, Akronos and
was
some
the
guy named
oldest.
Lewis
count
Wu.
Lewis Wu.
Lewis Wu.
Yeah, Bjorn's older than
This
that.
what,
one.
like 11 years?
Oh, I haven't even looked at
Something
yours.
around there.
Yeah, Claude and I signed up within 20 minutes of each other back in 2001, and so our accounts are right next to each other, or they used to be.
Yeah, they
We shift the database around, but
I didn't even use the internet in 2001.
2001, man, I remember that's when like you had an Angel Fire or GeoCities website. You had a spinning globe?
I don't know.
What?
America Online account.
Thumbnail video, dude. If I start this now, it'll be ready by tomorrow.
yeah. 11 years. Actually, that's pretty amazing. And that was back in 2001. They wiped the user database and everything when Halo came out, and they just started over from scratch. They said, "All right, anyone who's had an old account, you got to delete it and you got to start a new one." And that's basically what all these accounts are now. So
That's crazy.
11 years of time. That's cool though. And then I like they had the different colors and everything. That blue for the 7-year accounts is really slick, but you'll only get it if you're 7 years.
Yeah,
I think the green is the best, actually.
the green.
Yeah,
Green?
That's
6 years.
Yeah.
Here's what the gold thing is.
6 years are the best. That's the best group right there. 6
I'd,
years.
I'd have to agree. Although mine should be older than 6, but I had to delete my account or change it or something. I can't remember what
Classic
happened.
story.
Can't remember what happened to that old thing. But yes, now mine says 6, so I'll have to agree with Colin.
Dude, the three of us make
dedicated group.
the three of us make pure evil.
Indeed. But let's see, a couple other places around Bungie.net got a little extra love. I think they added some new avatars that you could select.
Yeah. I changed my avatar and little what is it, the little background piece. I think it has a real name. I don't know.
Yeah, the theme. They call them themes.
Theme, thank you.
Oh,
yes.
But it's just the artwork.
Yes. Oh, mine's the Exo slumped against the wall, which was like the postcard that really was like, oh yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
back from the
sweet.
wild. That
Yeah.
was one of the ones that got into the Into the Pixel sort of collection thing.
Yeah.
They had that giant framed one at E3. It was pretty cool. What else did Bungie.net get? I guess there were some new wallpapers that went up of the different classes. It was kind of cool. What else? We got the official Destiny reveal video that was uploaded to the official Bungie YouTube account. So it was finally a direct feed version of... It was the same demo from E3. So not a ton of new gameplay per se, but now everybody could finally look at a prettier version of it.
Yeah.
That was the
pretty
first time
nice.
I had seen it in 1080p, real high quality. The big difference for me on that one was the audio. They really did a nice job. And somebody pointed out in the forums that when they're outside and talking, the characters, it's sort of normal voice, but when they get indoors inside that confined space, it starts echoing around, and I didn't get that at all when I was watching the E3 videos.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I like definitely sort of had the same realization during E3, because the first couple times I saw that demo, it was always like the first time was at the giant PlayStation press conference.
Yeah. And
then later it was in the Bungie theater, like on a projector screen. But it wasn't until we got to do a private demo, sort of behind closed doors, and see the demo on just I don't know what kind of TV it was, but it was an HD TV, and the picture quality was just so much better. It really made the graphics shine. So it's nice that everyone else could finally watch the demo in that quality. Even if it was sort of something that they had already seen before, the same sights and sounds.
Hearing the audio with some of the demos and stuff that we saw at E3, literally made me start looking around and shopping for a sound system for for my game stuff. It was because I have a good set of headphones, but there was just something different about feeling that rumble, all the low end stuff when a ship would fly over or something. I mean, it's just you feel it in your chest.
Yeah, so what was the deal with that? I mean, I guess I'm the only one here who wasn't at E3. But what was the deal with somebody's talking about if you're in the fourth row of the Destiny demo, you were sitting right on top of the subwoofer, or
yeah, I think it was Jay that said something.
He didn't. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said there's a spot where you can sit, and you'll be directly above or sitting next to the subwoofer, and it's pretty intense.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Bungie's going to make me buy another sound system and a nicer TV. Because that's what happened with Halo 3. I worked all summer during college and blew all my money on a nice TV and a surround sound system just for Halo 3.
Nice.
So I had never really experienced any Bungie game on a proper surround sound, just because I'd never had the space or the privacy without annoying other people. But I've recently acquired some pretty good speakers and set it up, and their games are made for 5.1.
Oh yeah,
the stereo sound does a real disservice to all the work that gets put in. So it's been a kind of a shock for me, just how much better it is. Because there are a lot of games where you can listen to it in stereo in 5.1. And you're like, either way, it's fine. But Bungie's games really shine in 5.1, I think.
Oh yeah, the sound design in those games has always been really crazy. It was nice talking to Jay Wanland at E3, just because I've known that he's been at Bungie for a while, and he was really excited about the sound.
It sounded really good.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got that direct feed version of the video, and then a couple days later, we got the same video, but with a new commentary track from 3 Bungie artists. I guess they were all artists, right? Ryan Ellis, Mark Peterson, and Michael Zack.
Yeah, technical artists and technical directors. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll be kind of honest. I thought this was I thought it was a little disappointing, because a lot of what they were saying was just sort of narrating what was happening on the screen.
It was a little Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah,
but, it was still fun though.
Yeah, it was interesting. There were definitely a couple little tidbits that they threw in.
I mean, where's Tashi?
But what?
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, they should have talked about bump mapping and tessellation. That's really disappointing. Damn artists.
They did talk about the bird simulator, though.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. It was almost like a dig at Call of Duty and their fish simulation technology. I'll be pretty mad if I don't get high quality
The
bird
fish actually
animations
react
in the
to
final
you
game.
and swim away when you come toward them. Sweet. So they did that in Turok on the N64. Good job, guys.
Well, we just have to hope that the birds make it into the final game. I know with the Reach, the ambient life, animal life was one of the first things on the chopping block.
Yep. The butcher shop.
R.I.P. Space Squirrel. We'll never forget you.
Oh no.
It was interesting though to hear from a couple guys who we hadn't heard from before. You know, is another just a little bit of fresh perspective, and I think there were a couple little tidbits that, even coming from somebody's different perspective, that wasn't the normal E3 script, right?
Yeah, and it's definitely better than nothing. I mean, even if it felt it felt a little bit like filler, but they could have just completely skipped that commentary track. So it was kind of nice. Let's see what else did Bungie Week bring us. We got some new swag in the Bungie store. They restocked the shirts that they were selling, started selling back at E3. So these were all I want to say, was it 8 shirts? There's a shirt for each class, the Vanguard shirt, the
FOTC shirt.
Yeah, FOTC, which we now know as Forces of the City. From some
That's so cool.
eagle-eyed fans watching the trailers and pausing.
They said that it was like on the wing of a plane, right?
Yeah.
Like one of the ships as it flew by.
Yeah,
The wing
yeah.
of the Destiny Falcon.
Yeah, the Destiny Falcon, the drop ship on its approach to the tower. It said Forces of the City
with the jet engines that blew my hair around.
So they restocked those shirts, and they also added 3 Destiny banners to the store. So they had these banners hanging inside the Destiny theater at E3.
Wait, do you think they're that big? I don't think they're the same size. Those banners in the theater were pretty big. I could use that as my blanket.
I was just gonna say I could make that an area rug.
Yeah, those things were huge. I looked at
Wallpaper.
I looked at the dimensions on the Bungie store, and I can't remember them off the top of my head, but they were not nearly that big. But
36 by 14.5.
Yeah, that's a lot smaller.
Yeah.
But they look pretty cool.
Yeah, I went ahead and bought the Hunter one.
Oh, you got it? Nice. Yeah. I don't know where I would hang them up at my place.
Yeah, the quality of the art on them was awesome.
But that was cool. And then I guess the last bit of new Bungie store swag was the lithograph of what was it called? It's like it's on Mars. I don't know.
Buried City.
Buried City. Yeah, that was it. And this was a limited edition item. There was only 150 of them.
Yep.
And the proceeds go directly to charity, to Child's Play. So that's kind of cool. It's sort of the same thing they did before with the last lithograph. So I wonder if we'll see another one in the future with some other piece of concept art. That'd be that's cool. I don't know. Every time they add something to the Bungie store, my wallet starts crying in the corner because I have enough Bungie shirts now for every day of the week and then some. But pretty cool stuff. Let's see, what else did Bungie Week bring us? We
the
found
community challenges.
Those were kind of cool. We got not 1, not 2, but 7 different community challenges.
Who'd have thought?
On Bungie Day of all days.
So weird.
Go figure.
And these were kind of cool. Most of them, let's see, I guess about 5 of them were sort of image-based, and 2 of them were written. So we had, design your own hero to play Destiny, design a logo for Bungie Day 2013.
Yeah.
Which was, I was surprised that they didn't have that challenge earlier in Bungie Week, so that they could then use the logo, but that's still cool.
Yeah, I was amazed at the quality. You can keep going, sorry, but the quality of everything that everybody submitted, and you had 1 day to submit. I thought that was just amazing.
Yeah, short notice. I mean, I imagine a couple people submitted something that they'd made before, but for stuff like design a logo for Bungie Day 2013, I highly doubt people already had one of those waiting.
What's funny too is it all at once levels the playing field and yet really separates the professionals in a way. It's like it gives everybody kind of a chance because you all have that same time frame and it's super super fast. But at the same time, it's like, man, it's like the really talented guys can just be like, oh, okay, foom, I mean, I wonder how many people in whatever submission it was, because some submissions obviously would have been easier to do this with others, but I wonder how many people had something like, oh, thank God, I have something on hand that'll work just fine for that. Some sort of art piece or something like that they've done. I wonder how many people submitted a DBO logo for their
a repurposed DBO logo.
Bungie Day, just kidding.
They better be saving those for Bungie.Org Day.
Yeah.
Whenever that is.
It's going to be 8 days, like Hanukkah, but for Bungie.
February 29th.
Yeah. Every year.
Every year. Well, 3 out of the 4 years. We always have to skip 1 year when it
February
actually
29th annually.
Let's see what else was there. Conjure up the unlikeliest of Bungie spokespersons.
That was a confusing one.
Oh yeah, that was definitely some amusing photoshopping there.
Let's see what else. Added Destiny Fire Team to a historic battle. I want to say they loosened the requirements on that from historic battle to sort of old photograph you found.
Yeah, there's a really good one of the Normandy landing.
Oh, that was really funny.
Yeah, where they had like the first-person view of everyone getting out of the amphibious tank things, and all of the people storming the beach were like hunters and warlocks. It was pretty funny.
It's all.
But there also the scene from Hoth too.
I didn't see that one.
It's the same image.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look at it again.
There's a bunch of stuff like speeders and the AT-AT walkers and.
And then I guess
so apparently I missed half of that picture. Something.
You've just always pictured them there,
Yeah, I'm so used to that.
I liked the one of Washington crossing the Delaware, but it was the early concept art guy with the tiger in the boat.
Yes.
I thought that was really clever.
Tiger Man.
But
I guess the last image-based one was submit an image that says space magic to you. So I don't know at what point space magic really became a meme, but it's everywhere in Bungie now.
Space magic.
Yeah.
We had a pretty good one on our forums. It was like a Space Jam one with like when everyone puts their hands on the ball.
Was it Padraig that did that?
I think so. It was pretty good, I thought.
That was good. So I don't think they've announced the winners of that yet, right? They
said they were going to, but they haven't posted anything. They're probably waiting for the mail sack tomorrow or something.
Oh yeah, that's right. But they did show off the finalists, and the prize is pretty cool. It's signed Destiny poster.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
7 of those going out. That's kind of neat.
The written ones were War and Remembrance. It was write a short story, less than 100 words, about your favorite moment playing a Bungie game with your friends. And what was the other? There was another written.
Go to ageofgratitude.com and sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, if you have all those talented artists that have some piece of art, already cooked up and ready to go, well then for that one I actually already had something typed up. I could have copied and pasted. But I was out of town on Sunday. I didn't get the chance to post it. But,
of course, 100 words or less would be like a haiku.
Yeah.
For trying to describe something like that.
Oh, really?
Then tell us where you want to play Destiny. That was the last one. That's rather open-ended.
Yeah, that's a pretty loaded question.
The present.
Why do you want to play Destiny, Bjorn?
Well, there wasn't a limit on 100 words for this one, I guess, but so many reasons. It's a Bungie game.
There you go. That's the only answer you really need, right? How many words was that? It's a Bungie game.
I'll have to adjust it, make it
sounded
7.
like a jingle. It's a Bungie game.
Do I sense that we should write a song?
Ooh, I don't know. We do have a lot of musical talent on the DBO admin team.
Well, Claude doesn't think so.
Well, does Claude have any musical talent?
Claude is the one who doesn't have it.
We'll give him a tambourine. How bad can I screw that up?
Rhythm.
Hey, when we were in the Subway or the 7-Eleven, he was at the ATM singing some Michael McDonald's, and I was pretty impressed.
That's true. Forgot about that one. Yeah, but then we, remember him trying to jump on the light floors and time it well. So,
speaking of music, I guess,
segue.
Yeah, I was
maybe.
Speaking of music, I'm getting lost in thought here. I guess one of the last things we haven't discussed yet, coming from Bungie Week, was some space music. Space music. Some of Marty's work, finally.
Is that your impression of Marty writing music?
yeah.
I think that's pretty
Okay.
Marty sitting at a keyboard. Space music!
What are you doing, Marty? Okay, alright, just making sure.
Somehow I don't picture Marty doing that. I don't know.
But it's so much more fun if you do. I'm just telling you.
But yeah, we got Awakening. It was about an 8-minute MP3, and this is the music that was playing at the Activision Rotunda, or Ronut, as we call it in the biz. It's a highly technical term.
Whatever biz we're in, I'm not sure, but that's what we call it.
The donut biz. I mean, come on, I'm a Duncan here.
Donut biz. Oh, okay, saved that one. Good job.
Yeah, I set myself up for that, and then delivered. You're welcome. You're welcome, podcast listeners. But yeah, eight minutes of music from the Ronut, as the video shows the traveler coming into our solar system and stopping at the different celestial bodies.
What's amazing, what I was loving is there's a lot of story in that.
Oh yeah.
People kind of are glossing over, what's that? Oh, it's the foundation of everything we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ronut.
Yeah. We still haven't seen a video of the whole thing. You guys had that great video, but it was so wide and wrapped around so much you couldn't get the whole thing in the frame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, who's making Call of Duty Ghosts?
Infinity Ward.
No, Infinity Ward. It's one of those Treyarch, one of those guys.
Yeah.
But they actually posted their presentation in a wide format.
Oh, really?
Online. So
wow.
Maybe Bungie will do it.
We need to start
someday
grabbing that link and sending it to Deej. Say, hey, look at this. Look what these guys did.
What a cool idea.
Yeah. Man, they really love their community.
Yeah. You guys haven't done anything for us.
Yeah, really.
I wonder when Call of Duty Day is.
No, man.
But yeah, that music was just fantastic. Just you can get a taste of just different styles. If you're watching the video, you see that it's because the traveler is moving to different planets, and it seems like you're getting the theme music for each planet, sort of a montage of all of those. So I wonder if that track will be on the Destiny soundtrack in any form, or if it really is just the special montage that Marty pulled together for that presentation from a bunch of different tracks, is my guess. Speaking of soundtracks, there was some hinting that Marty would be releasing a full CD called Music of the Spheres. 50 minutes of music to be exact. I was sort of expecting, not expecting, but I suspected that would come out during Bungie Week, but it seems
that was
not.
actually my hope as well when they said even actually like just the tiniest thing about like music, and I'm like, yay, minutes.
Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, that sounds like really like ungrateful, but because it was fantastic. But it just means that I love it so much. I want more. You want more. Your mom and dad says you can't have it, but you want more because you like it.
I want 42 more minutes of this. Damn it.
Exactly.
Marty.
This is music. This isn't from the game soundtrack, though. This is what he wrote to inspire the team, right?
Right. This is the thing that they mentioned.
Inspiring me.
I mean, I'm sure it shows
some of it
up in the game at
Yeah,
some point,
but-
or like adapted. But yeah, this was made before the game was any. Well, I don't know. I mean, they've been working on the game for a long time. Clearly, I guess it's a little bit of both in parallel.
It's kind of an interesting thing to do.
I feel like every time I hear about how long they've been working on the game, it's earlier. Like, we've actually been working on the game since the Spanish Inquisition. It's a little known fact, but
Yeah, like they keep
it's always
pushing it further back and further back.
Well, I mean, during ODST, I mean, we were, Halo 3, we were finishing it up.
And Jason was doing this and blah blah blah.
It's like, well, see, right after Myth, we actually...
Exactly.
Destiny is actually the spiritual successor to Pathways into Darkness. It will include a NOP mini game, which, speaking of which, that's a cool little potential tidbit. I want mini games.
You want mini games in Destiny? We're gonna have gambling.
Yeah.
So what kind of gambling are we gonna have?
Dice.
Cards,
Space dice.
cards, space dice.
Space dice. Space dice.
I like how you can just add space to the beginning of anything now, and as long as you scream it like that, it's like it's clearly something that belongs in Destiny.
They can do space chess like they have in Star Wars.
I just want to get some of the freeze dried space ice cream.
I was wondering the other day, all this mention of gambling, what if it's just placing bets on competitive multiplayer?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
Call of Duty Black Ops had something sort of like that, I think.
Yeah, wagers.
Wager match, I think, is...
So what if that's the gambling they've been alluding to? That would,
I'd be okay with that.
Would you put up your precious weapons on the next competitive match? It's like, if I lose this, I'll give you the pink slip to the Thunderlord.
Right. That's what it's going to be. It's Destiny Pinks. Space remorse. Space regret.
I think
the problem.
It's going to be a lot bigger than what they've. They haven't really talked about the city much, but I think it's going to be pretty big and busy, given things like this that we don't really know anything about. But
you're going to have just homeless Destiny players just loitering.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I mean,
not actually going to go and do missions and stuff. They're just like, hey, you guys want to be involved in?
Anybody want to play dice? Play a game of dice.
That's going to be the phone integration. Is just it's a bunch of card games on your phone that earn you Destiny credits or Glimmer or whatever it is.
Fox News video games destroys our society. Bungie incorporates gambling and ruins lives.
Not only that, but they drove the Native Americans out of the...
Oh, really? I don't know. Maybe Bungie's eventually just going to turn Destiny into Second Life, where there's anything and everything in the game.
You're gonna have Planet Walmart.
That city's pretty big.
Go to your Nissan dealership and get a new speeder bike sponsored by the GTR. Oh, I can get the Fallen Optima. Sweet.
But so anyway, so that was a lot of stuff we moving on.
Okay, idiot. All right, let's go.
Cool story,
really
bro.
It was sweet of you the way you did that. I appreciate
Cool
it.
story, bro. So anyway, that was a lot of stuff we got from Bungie Week, you know.
But that wasn't even the big one.
Yeah, that wasn't even the big thing. Okay, so that was all the stuff we got directly from Bungie. But we also got something pretty cool from Ryan McCaffrey over at IGN. He got to sit down with Jason Jones and have breakfast with him. And I guess
Not many people get to have breakfast.
I know,
with
not very many. Mrs. Jones and
Yeah, drinks.
So, yeah, I guess they also talked a little bit about video games and stuff and did an interview. So it wasn't all breakfast. But it was a really interesting interview. It was split up into 3 parts against the behest of some internet commentators. But, you know, you can't fault them for wanting to split that up.
Maximize their clicks.
Yeah, man. It's a business. It's what IGN does for a living.
Yeah, it was less of like a direct interview and more of sort of an article with an interview in it, but it wasn't a QA session.
Yeah, it was kind of. They had this conversation, nice. And he happened to have a recorder with him, and this is what they talked about. And you can really tell that Ryan McCaffrey knows his Bungie lore, at least as far as Halo stuff goes. Like they immediately
researched.
Yeah, they immediately start talking about the Halo 1 pistol. Of course, you don't have to be a Bungie expert to know about that, but McCaffrey at least seemed to.
Well, to my knowledge, Ryan is a big Halo fan. I think most of that is stuff that he really is pretty familiar with.
Definitely, he definitely seemed to be familiar with the legendary history of the 3-shot Halo 1 pistol, and asking about that was kind of cool. I mean, we've pretty much gotten that information before. This is just the first time we've gotten it from Jason Jones. I remember,
the man who wrote the code.
Yeah, I remember. Was it David Ellis for one of the 343 Sparkcasts had Jamie Griesmer on, and that was one of the things he talked about naturally, and giving a very similar answer. Mm-hmm. But it was neat to finally get that from Jones, you know.
So when that interview came out, Jamie posted like a sigh of relief tweet.
The burden has finally been lifted from him. He can move on and continue to make awesome, infamous games with Sucker Punch now. So yeah, they also talked about balancing the Ghost. I thought that was interesting. Jason saying that he wouldn't have the Ghost have the inaccurate plasma cannons that it actually had, but instead go for some sort of overheating mechanic instead. Just talking about his design philosophy of balance for awesome. I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know, what do you guys think about changing the Ghost, or is Halo 1 perfect the way it is? I don't know, Grim, what do you think?
I like the boost as opposed to just the Halo 1 Ghost, but I mean, I think it'd be cool. I would be okay with an overheating mechanic, because overheating, I feel like it would be kind of the best of both, because on the offensive you would have, it's not just as literally as much of a crapshoot, you know. It's not just this peppering, because it's weird. It's like, because it's so inaccurate, you have to just be able to just lay fire over an area and rely on it sometimes hitting. So it just kind of ends up in more of a stalemate type scenario. Whereas I think if it was more accurate, you would be able to use it more like a mobile weapon platform, where you could get the desired result on the offensive, but on the defensive you would be able to have things a little more predictable. So I was like, oh, okay, it's overheated now. You know, maybe if it was something like their original plan for the plasma repeater in Reach was that the firing rate would slow down, but it would get more accurate. Mm. And to my knowledge, that was not implemented. But that might have been something that was cool. Like, as it got closer to overheating, maybe it got more accurate or more deadly, so that on the receiving end, basically, you had kind of a cue, like, okay, it's at its most dangerous right now, but it's about to overheat. It's about to, give me my shot. So I think there is some truth to the potential balance that could have been held there, but who knows, why things get moved the way they are. And if they were that way, we might think, oh, it would have been so much better to have an inaccurate infinite weapon. So that's always the great cry of what didn't get put in a game. Those are always the most dangerous videos to release. Like, hey, here are some original concepts that you're now going to fall in love with and be pissed that we didn't put in, even though you wouldn't have liked it if we had. So
I do like his thought of balance for awesome. You want to empower the player.
Yeah.
Make them feel powerful, and then find ways to sort of work your game design around that instead of just coming up with these limits on the player.
Yeah, it's ways to make the awesome fit with each other, almost like a rock paper scissors kind of thing. No one's cutting rock paper scissors and challenging it for balance, really. Like, it's everyone has the same equal opportunity, and you really can make your choice and things like that. So it's I think that give all of the players something cool to do, and I think it was, I don't remember who it was, definitely somebody in a Halo interview that was talking about it should almost be just as cool to be killed by something. Like in a scenario, it's like, oh my god, I got killed, but that was awesome. Like, that was crazy. So when you have set pieces and when you have components in your sandbox that are almost just as fun to have used on you as much as it is to use as the player, I think that's really where you start, hitting on some good things there, because then, no matter the outcome, you are, again, it's balanced for awesome. It's not balanced for competitive success, because those are two different things. And now, some people do the same thing. Some people only think it's awesome if they're winning. I'm not good enough to think that. So I think awesome is when I'm just having fun. I don't care if you are or not. But
everybody wants to be awesome, from old people to young people. I thought it was really interesting that Jason mentioned playing the game with his 5-year-old son.
Oh, lucky kid.
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder if he's under like an NDA.
Jerome made him sign.
That,
Jerome
right?
stands next to him.
He'll get grounded, if he tells his friends at school what he's been playing. But I don't know, Bjorn, what do you think about Destiny sort of shooting for the T rating?
Well, so interestingly, this was the first time I had heard that they were shooting for a T rating. I had always assumed that it was going to be mature just because that's what they get. And I always felt that Halo even was sort of borderline T.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I'm really excited about this because, back in the day when I was playing Halo and my cousin was just old enough to get an Xbox, and he would play Halo with me, and my aunt and uncle, they'd look at it and they were like, well, it says mature, but it seems okay. And like, yeah, I think this is pretty much okay. There's no swearing or anything, and the blood's pretty purple. And if they're able to secure a good solid T rating, knowing Bungie, it'll still be fun. It'll still be a great gunplay experience, but they'll have that many more people be able to come in and play and maybe feel more comfortable about it. And if you're going to be at home or something playing with your kid or sibling, then you can there'll just be more people to play it, and that's the whole point, right? They want to have numbers of people playing it. It's about community and who you play it with.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when Halo 1 came out, I was 15. I wasn't even old enough to buy the game.
Well, there's a lot of comparisons to Star Wars, and that really is a franchise that, if you really think about it, is rated T.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Lord of the Rings, I think, would probably be a rated T franchise.
There hasn't been a M Star Wars game, right? Like, they won't let that happen.
I don't think so. The only one I could imagine is would be Force Unleashed. Probably that's the.
I guess Star Wars 1313 was going to be in for
13
sure. But that's the only one I can really think of.
No, that's just
The rating system has always been kind of strange to me.
Yeah,
But
of course, this is
I've never enjoyed a Bungie game because of the rating or because of any of the things that the rating says, like blood, gore, violence. That's not why I've enjoyed Bungie games. So
exactly,
Destiny being a teen game is you can make a great, sophisticated, intelligent, mature game and have it be rated, E for all, E for everyone.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But
it doesn't need to have Gears of War people. Chainsawing
getting chainsawed in half.
Yeah.
Well, there's development.
Take it even further to Bulletstorm.
Hey, but there is gambling in this game.
That's true.
True. End of life as we know it. There's a development studio actually not far at all from where I live in Tampa, and they're very successful with browser-based games like MMO style, and their Artix Entertainment is the name of them, and they've done a number of different games, and one of their really, really popular ones is Adventure Quest Worlds. I mean, they've got gazillions of people playing that game, and they really pride themselves. The owner's a good friend of mine, and I've done a lot of work with them, and they really pride themselves on like something that the whole family can play. Like it's not hokey, so that like adults are thinking like, oh, this is a cool story, but like it's not just diving into themes for the sake of keeping it edgy, so the kids can play it too, and it's really something that a lot of families have been able to enjoy, and I think that's cool. And I think in even some of the early things we heard about Destiny, it was like things that like really inspire your inner 7-year-old. And I mean, when you think about that's stuff like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and those big, huge, epic things that adults still are watching and finding incredibly entertaining and very deep and full of value and thought-provoking stuff and meaning, but that like kids can just kind of wrap their arms around and enjoy without necessarily needing to dive into the various layers of it. So I think that there's a lot of potential in that, and it's nice actually to see something kind of going in that direction, especially something with a lot of marketing push behind it. Something that's a big IP, because you do see those every once in a while, but they're blips on the radar. And so to see something with so much push behind it, and to see big money on the marketing end and the development end, I think we're really gonna see, with a lot of clout and power behind it, we're gonna see what an IP that is structured and aimed like this at the demographics that it's aimed for, what it's really possible or what it's really capable of, and maybe it encourages other developers to do the same thing, and maybe not go quite so shock value with things in order to sell their product.
That's true. I mean, it is going to be a big game, that's for certain. I mean, was it the rumor of Activision spending? Maybe I'm just making this number up, but something like $140 million on marketing for Destiny. Yeah, no, totally making that up.
But it wouldn't. It would make sense. I mean, I've got like at my day job and stuff, I've got like we have during the summer we have a ton of students there, and we do a lot of like gaming related summer camps, and like they're all the time coming up to me and like, they would be like, I watched your video on the Destiny. Like they're all excited. Like one kid came in with a Warlock shirt on the other day. I mean, there's like students that are, all age ranges, high school and middle school, and they're all really excited about this. And I think that's cool, because sometimes I forget like how permeating and how pervasive marketing, I guess, and that PR kind of image and stuff can get, because I'm used to seeing it at a certain level. And so I always find it interesting, like, how did you even hear about this? Like, what websites are you on?
I guess I'm sort of used to, having been digging up Destiny tidbits and info for a long time. It's like now that other people know about the game, it's like, what? No, this is just
Get off my lawn.
This is just this secret little thing that I've been following at Bungie. You know,
Chris
like,
Bircher's a fan of mine. Damn it! He loves my work.
This is something that belongs to the hardcore Bungie.Org people. How do you know about Destiny?
It's not better with Connect. Oh, wait, no, sorry.
I've had more people in the last probably 3 weeks comment on the E3 shirts, or I just took my car into the shop and it was getting its maintenance, and the guy I checked it in with, he goes, "Oh, is that a Destiny sticker on the back?" And I was like, "Yeah, it is," and it's sort of amazing actually how many people have recognized the branding.
Yeah, it's a pretty big push. And it's interesting to hear Jason talk about Destiny just being the biggest gamble of his career. There's a lot riding on that guy.
Build a team like that,
That's true. And that team's gotten huge now. Is it like something like 450 people?
400 was the last
one. Yeah, right at like just over 400 or something.
Somewhere around there. Yeah, maybe 350 was the number I was thinking of. Yeah, right around 400. That's pretty big for Bungie. They've grown a lot.
Big for anybody.
Yeah, and sitting right at the top is Jason Jones, the guy who's got to sort of tie it all together and make sure it's a cohesive whole.
Balance it for awesome.
That's crazy. I'm sure it's a nerve-wracking thing, especially when going back to Ryan McCaffrey's interview, asking him about what is his biggest regret with Halo, the great tragedy of that, and the lessons he's pulled from that. I don't know. One of you guys want to talk about some campaign replayability and sort of his regret there? I thought that was kind of interesting.
It certainly sparked some conversation in the forums, but I think the people he's talking about aren't really those of us who do go back and play the levels because we love them. I think my sister, she plays Halo, but she doesn't go back and play through the campaign ever. No. She has no real need to do that. She likes multiplayer and hanging out with me, and that's about it. But I think the idea is that we have these beautiful, amazing spaces, and if we can integrate those into the gameplay more often, and if you're wandering around the world, if we can start a world event somewhere, and you have to go back and you go back to a place and realize, oh yeah, this was that place where I had this really cool mission, and I did this thing and got that gun, and it helps you connect to the world a lot better.
Yeah, it's interesting hearing the Respawn developers making Titanfall talking about, we hated putting all of this effort into the Call of Duty single player, and then seeing people, play that when the game comes out, not even finish the campaign, and then just go back to the multiplayer and keep playing that. So you can sort of see, I guess, great minds think alike. So Jason coming to the same conclusions, but taking a different approach to fixing that problem of replayability. But yeah, it always throws me off when I talk to people that aren't hardcore Halo fans, and I'll bring up some campaign level or story bit, and the other person will draw a complete blank, and it's like, what? You don't go back and play through like I do?
Exactly.
So it's.
What do you mean you don't know the serial number?
Exactly. But I thought that was cool. What did you guys think of his comments on Project Phoenix that was canceled?
Did he say it was like Minecraft or something?
Yeah, it was
sort of
more of the way it was rendering things, not so much like you're building. You've got building blocks. Just I think more like in terms of like destruction. He talked about this castle that you could launch rocks at, and
like a trebuchet, and knock down the castle, and
and
it would
Racketeer. Oh wait, no, different.
Yeah, it was boom blocks.
Dave, that's a Dave Lang shout out.
Project Phoenix was just a cross between Racketeer and Boomblocks, and they just didn't have the connect.
Say that like it's a bad thing.
That's
Yeah,
true.
we'd never really heard much about Phoenix before this, right? I mean, there's sort of whispers and allusions, but
Very little. I mean, there is a Phoenix.Bungie.Org, which has like one image, this sort of dragon logo that I guess had come out from that, and then there was.
We should start posting content on there.
It's all
on
Racketeer stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we could post this interview.
should.
This is the first time anybody at Bungie has mentioned Phoenix in a long time.
Right.
There you
Front
go.
page post on Phoenix, dude. We need to set up a Twitter. Phoenix tweets.
I know there was
PVO.
Tweets.
I know
PVO tweets.
there was some concept art that I don't know if it was ever actually officially associated with Phoenix or if it was just sort of
it was just Bungie, I think. It was like it was
Yeah.
a Craig piece.
the folder was called like Breach or something, and was it Craig Mullen's art or who did that?
I think it was.
Yeah, but it was all this really cool medieval stuff, sort of myth, but not quite as
Yeah,
fantastical.
Levi here posted in the forum and just pulled it up, and he said it was a Breach labeled concept art. But if you look at the second one, it's this like painting of a castle, and it's like coming apart from the top,
Yeah,
and there's like guys fighting at the base of it, and it just after Jones explained it a little bit, that seems to
seems to line
this seems
up
to
there.
match. Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. It sounds interesting, but I think I'm probably glad that they actually managed to ship Halo 2. So if Phoenix had to die,
It was Halo 1, wasn't it?
it was sort of around the. I guess it was during both. I know definitely during Halo 2, because that was right around when they closed Bungie. What?
Bungie West.
Chicago, Bungie West. That's right.
Yeah.
Bring back
With,
Bungie West.
Bring back.
that was with Take-Two, right?
I think so.
Was
Yeah, because those
Those were
were
the Oni-
Oni people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oni got sold to Take-Two, and then the Oni guys went to
Yeah.
Redmond.
But I don't know. Maybe we'll see Phoenix rise from the ashes sometime in the future after Destiny is.
Phoenix
done.
minigame in Destiny.
There you go. Maybe that'd be kind of cool.
It's just Racketeer. You just have like a Connect in Destiny.
What is it with you and Racketeer?
I don't know.
So I have to from the first or I guess episode 0 podcast. I said I was going to probably going Hunter, but after hearing Jason Jones talk about the Warlock, I think I might have to be thinking about that now because he mentioned his space magic. That he mentioned briefly that there was like a group buff and a group like resurrection maybe, and I don't know what that means in the context of Destiny, but that got me really excited because it made me think about my druid from World of Warcraft.
Yeah. Sorry. It wasn't group buff. It was team buff and team res.
buff.
I wrote it down in our notes wrong.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he says team res abilities, RES. So like, is the Warlock the only class that can resurrect other players?
I think when you activate it, just your team's resolution goes down.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, they just become really blocky, and it's confusing to the other guys. They're like, oh, what are these things? They're blending with the background. All these.
So you're saying Destiny has a Minecraft-like rendering engine,
May the
just
Phoenix
like
rise
Phoenix.
again.
Exactly. But it was interesting because if they're-
Racketeer was good though.
Maybe the Traveler is a giant phoenix egg, and
Yes!
in Destiny 3 it'll finally finish hatching, and Phoenix will rise from the ashes, and Jason Jones will say, "Surprise! It's Phoenix all along."
oh man,
Oh god.
It's like a WWF moment.
Jason Jones is listening to this podcast. I don't know why. He's like, oh no. I didn't think anyone was going to figure it out.
They figured it out, and now we have to change it. And he just deletes this 2 terabyte folder from his desktop.
Joe Staten, we've got to change it.
Order 66, Joe. TVO has to go.
Winter
A
continues.
big picture of Duncan's head with a target they put up on the wall. It's like, this guy ruins everything.
Call in the butcher.
Oh man!
But
the magic there made me think about what if it wasn't all offensive? Like, what if we had defensive abilities? And could you be a support? Yeah, could you be a support class for another player? Like, would you take yourself out of battle, the offense, so that you could protect one of your players or something like that? Maybe not. I don't know, but it got me thinking about that.
I mean, I
certainly
think
would.
that's
If you have a healer kind of style. I mean,
I love that. That would be
that'd be great.
So amazing.
That's possible. I mean, my one of my favorite classes in Team Fortress 2 is playing medic, and just sitting behind people doing the real work, and I can just hold the button and heal them. I mean, that's they said Destiny has something for every style of play, so I wouldn't be surprised. Warlock definitely sounds cool. I don't know.
I think we're going to see profiles
those
and highlights for the others. So
yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how they're all distinguished from each other, because I mean, all 3 classes have some sort of magic from space, and
you just didn't want me to say it. I know.
Yeah, dancing around the term. But what's going to make the Warlock particularly awesome with the magic from space will be interesting. Are the Titans going to be better with guns or melee, or are the Hunters going to be really good with rifles? Jason Jones did mention that right now his favorite character class and weapon is Warlock and Scout Rifle. So is Scout Rifle I guess a type of rifle, or are there going to be different classes? All the Scout rifles have really high zoom and low firing rate or something.
He's just teasing us.
I guess
he's just making it up.
He could have said shotgun. That's different than a Scout rifle.
Do you remember in the Law of the Jungle trailer when I think it's a hunter kind of throws something at the Cabal and then shoots them and they kind of explode?
Yeah, that was. I want to say.
Was that just a grenade or something?
I don't remember him throwing anything.
It looked kind of like a combined thing.
I thought that was the same thing they sort of do in the gameplay demo, where player 2 buffs their pistol.
Yeah, because the space magic for the hunter is it seems like it's more imbued in the ammo almost, like he was firing that out, and that's what I felt like it was doing is he was just kind of calling upon it and then using that, using some sort of crazy ammo type.
Yeah,
all the electric. When he empties it, you see the electricity kind of surging back and forth with it.
Well, the Warlock had that as well with the.
Yeah, but you're talking about the hunter with the flaming, the golden gun they were calling it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thought Grim was saying that's the hunter's special.
Yeah.
I'm saying the Warlock had the electric gun. What was it called?
Oh,
it's Light of the Traveler or something like that.
No.
Oh,
no.
Thunderlord.
Thunderlord, yeah.
Right?
So I don't think a weapon power up is.
But no, because the hunter was set
that was a brief
when you
thing.
come around the corner. Yeah, it's right where they do the they threw one of the either the Nova bomb or the other one, but you see the hunter, you come around the corner, you're looking basically left, and you see the hunter do this summoning kind of motion, and summons fire, and then the gun that he or she is using is on fire, and you get these wicked shots, just these streams, and it's just incinerating all the enemies, and it only lasts for a short period of time. So I don't know if it's a timed effect or if it's all the ammo in this clip is imbued with this, but that's what it seemed like. It was basically
It was the hunter ability.
representation, of what was in the trailer as well, the live action.
Whereas the Warlock was throwing the Nova.
Yeah.
But
But
pretty cool.
I'm excited to see what they've got for us.
So I guess that sort of was
Just seeing like the weapon trees, like what is that going to look like when you've got like Thunderlord and it's upgraded to the nth degree? I mean, like fire and fall lightning, small lightning singularities at bringing planet-eating bullets. I mean, that'd be great.
that'll be interesting. I definitely like the concept of having a sort of weapon tree.
I'm still hoping that like we get to use the spacecraft, and that the spacecraft will also have trees that you can upgrade, for armor, defense, or weapons, and stuff like that. I mean, it would be really, really cool if there was, even in like some of the multiplayer stuff, if there were things that you could, do some dogfighting and stuff like that, or if you had public events where people were in their spacecraft, and then all of a sudden it was this basically like almost like a naval battle in space where you're fighting fallen fighters and Cabal fighters and things like that. I mean, Cabal fighters are probably just look like giant cue balls, but
the more upgrade trees, the better. I think everything in Destiny should have an upgrade tree.
Just a whole forest
my
of
space
upgrade
dice. I want my space dice to have an upgrade
Upgradable
tree.
dice.
Yeah,
So like fuzzy dice would be
that's like the
upgrade path.
top.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
that's
and
above
you
weighted
could
dice
upgrade
too.
it for like you could change your dice into Magic 8 Ball,
Fuzzy space dice.
fuzzy Magic 8 Ball.
Ooh, these are exotic dice.
Ah.
Ooh,
I don't know. Upgrade trees all around.
that's better than exotic
My
balls.
space boots with an upgrade tree, space socks, space everything.
Space thermals.
Basically
space
just
long johns.
look around your room or or a car or wherever you're listening to this podcast. Pick out an object. Put space
Upgrade
in front of the space
And then
in front of
and
the
then upgrade.
object. Space steering wheel, and then give it an upgrade tree, and bam, that's Destiny.
Your girlfriend. I mean,
They're saving that for the expansion. Come on,
space
man.
wife. It's like, sweetheart, I really should have chosen the other upgrade path.
But anyway, so Jason Jones, the Warlock. Moving on.
Cool story, bro.
I feel like I'm like the litmus test for when something has been played out.
And that conversation's done. On to bullet point 6. But no, Jason Jones, the Warlock. I was pretty happy with that interview.
That was fun. It was very it felt candid and just real. That was nice.
Yeah, and it was nice. I mean, yeah, it sort of ended on. People say it ended on a cliffhanger. Him talking about the Halo 2 ending. But it was nice to hear Jason talk about. He really doesn't mind giving interviews. He's just too busy to do it. He's not that reclusive. He's just humble.
I think he is. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was a nice treat for Bungie Day or Bungie Week, whatever.
Absolutely.
How did you guys feel about Bungie Week overall? Did you think that it met expectations?
I would have. I think overall it was fine, because really what it is it's a celebration of community, and so I think in that light that it did really, really well. I would have just selfishly liked to hear more bits about the story. Like either gotten just an epic album from Space Marty, or getting some sort of expose maybe on one of the races.
Yeah.
New info on the Hive or something like that. Or new info on customizing your ship or so. Yeah, but again, it's we've got plenty of time for that, and Bungie has always shown to be trustworthy with how they divulge and the rate at which they divulge their information. So it's it's all good. It's all good. As a celebration of a community, I thought it was really cool.
Agreed.
I could have gone for a little more compression of all this content into just maybe 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, what's funny? If they'd have done everything for Bungie Day, it would have been like, this was awesome.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I hate to look a gift horse in the mouth, but Bungie Day itself, really all we got that day was part 1 of the Jason Jones interview, and I guess the 7 challenges that was that day.
Yep.
So it's pretty light for
tricky since it was a Sunday.
Yeah, that's true as well. But kind of light for a Bungie day if you're just looking at the one specific day. But yeah, in terms of the entire week of stuff, is a pretty respectable haul of loot, I'd say.
Yeah, and I liked they brought back the Child's Play program again. That was really cool. They've been doing that for a couple of years with swag, and I think that's a neat thing that they're doing.
Yeah, that's true. And you never know, like maybe there were things behind the scenes that sort of changed what they were able to offer on Bungie Day. Maybe that Music of the Spheres album was supposed to come out, but some record deal or whatever.
That would never happen.
No,
yeah,
Paul called up. He said, "I have an idea for a track."
At least they didn't have like a countdown.
Yeah, that's true. They weren't setting expectations too high.
I'm excited to hear what happens with that Music of the Spheres, though. And somebody said something about this summer.
Yeah,
I felt like
it was
a slip.
Jeff. Marty.
I didn't say
Marty tweeted out the sort of postcard of Music of the Spheres.
But that just says coming soon.
Yeah, that said coming soon. I think it was Jeff Keighley said
right.
specifically that Marty is going to release a 50-minute CD this summer.
Right.
So whenever he tweeted that, I was like, oh, that's going to come on Bungie Day. Cool.
Yeah, that sort of locked it in for me. But
yeah, you never know. A lot of moving parts, moving celestial bodies. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good Bungie Day, Bungie week, whatever. So I guess moving on to other news. There's been a lot of interviews that came out between now and our last podcast, but I mean those are out there. You can read them. You can go to the front page. We're not going to sit here and read them to you. I did want to highlight a couple fan creations and little creative things that I saw around the community, including a hunter tattoo. Somebody got a nice sleeve of one of the hunters from the concept art. Looks pretty cool. I know, Grim, you've been talking about tattoos a lot lately, right?
Yeah. I have one, and it's like something my brothers and I all got. There's 4 of us brothers that are like blood related, and we always use the 4-plot emblem, the territory's 4-plot emblem from Halo 2 or 3 is wherever it came in first, and then has been in all of the rest of them. And we always use that because there's 4 brothers, and so it's four diamonds that make up one bigger diamond. So we all got that, and then like I have 1 on mine, and then 2 has 2, and 3 and 4 have 3 and 4, and Roman numerals and stuff. So, but I definitely like want probably from that tattoo's on my left arm, like on my forearm, and I'm just going to get a bunch, probably just going up that shoulder, and definitely I think the next ones that I'm looking at getting are the class ciphers from Destiny. I like stuff that's like abstract, but like it has a meaning for me, so that if people see it and they're like, oh, what is that? I can say, oh, this is from this. But like I'm not as much into, just on a personal level, to having like full artwork in a way, but I really like the kind of more emblematic cipher type stuff. So the class ciphers from Destiny, from the Warlock Hunter and Titan. I think those would be really cool to have, and really Destiny's full of them, man. Like the Vanguard logo is cool. There's a lot of stuff. But I'm thinking about incorporating the mantle, the Forerunner mantle logo from Halo in there somewhere.
Nice.
But that's definitely in the plans. I think the Destiny ones are next. It would be really cool to have them for launch. But yeah.
It's got to be surreal for the Bungie guys. Before with Halo, they've seen people get Halo tattoos and stuff, but now, we've already got, I think there are at least 2 people out there now that have Destiny tattoos, and the game's not even out yet. We don't even have a release date. We've got one gameplay video. It's
what if they hate the game?
Yeah, I was like, what if
one of the developers is going to be like, hey, do you guys, you see that guy just got a tattoo of the logo we decided to change?
Yeah, no pressure. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. They're going to be pissed when we show that the Vanguard logo is totally different. That would be my only worry with it. And then it just turns into some, cool abstract art, I guess.
I think somebody already had a Destiny tattoo, back in February. Shortly after the game was first announced. Yeah, tricorn right on his shoulder. It's like, man, you hope that guy doesn't go to, read Gaming News later and go, what shared world shooter? That's not what I want to play.
I thought it was going to be like Racketeer!
Yeah. Jeez. That's more of a tramp stamp than, a shoulder tattoo. Racketeer.
Yeah.
Let's see, what other fan creations have there been? I guess somebody built the Hunter's pistol from the Law of the Jungle. I guess it was Law of the Jungle. Out of Lego. That was pretty cool.
That was amazing, actually.
I think you could put something into orbit with Lego. I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was a 3D print at first. It's Lego.
It looks pretty slick. They did a really good job of hiding all the little plastic studs and just picking the perfect pieces to where it looks like it's.
Yeah, it even has the FOTC on it. I think, if I remember right, I'll have to look again.
Yeah, Nick Brick, and he called it Wrecktown.
Wow,
nice.
That sounds a lot like a Kinect game that I know. Wrecktown.
But if people are already building Lego sculptures out of pre-release material, it's only going to get worse once the game actually comes out. Same with the tattoos. People are already this excited about the game and making things now that.
Well, and look at, you got you see a lot of that kind of dedication type stuff in games. That are very high in the investment, in the player investment realm anyway. Stuff like WoW and even League of Legends and stuff. You see people really wanting to be okay, I can use this as a representation, and put this on my body or something, and I think that's where we're going to see, because even Halo up to this point, and Halo has obviously had his huge lion's share of people getting inked and having Spartans at their wedding and stuff like that. It's gonna who's going to be the first person to be married by the have the priest wear that cool armor that's in the priest armor that's in the trailer. That'd be pretty sick, actually. But I think Destiny being a game that's playing heavily into that player investment and be a legend and really have a long-term kind of legendary type relationship with the characters that you create is only going to lend itself over the long haul more, and maybe even more than Halo in certain ways, I guess. So,
I ventured into building a costume last summer, an ODST helmet and Master Chiefs, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to do something with Destiny pretty soon. I'm going to start getting into that.
That's cool. You have to let us know how that goes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the Hunter.
I want to see pictures of the other ones you did.
What?
The Chief and ODST one?
Oh, I wore it at PAX.
The helmet.
The Master Chief one, yeah.
You had some sweet lights on it too.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I can't wait to see some Destiny cosplay.
Yeah.
We'll probably see some at PAX, right? We've had enough time.
I would imagine.
Yeah, probably. I mean, there are enough character images out there for people to pattern things after. It's not like you have to wait until the game's actually out to be able to make a costume.
Yeah.
So, I'd be surprised if we don't see some Destiny cosplay at PAX.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yep.
And before we finish up, I wanted to plug. Duncan, you posted your E3 experience write-up up in our Vanguard section, and
So
I just wanted to plug that because it was a really great write-up.
Thanks. I like to write.
Yeah, made me
Even
really.
Bungie loved it too because they tweeted it, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was pretty stoked when Deej tweeted that out. That was cool. I don't know. It's a good thing I got sick the other day and stayed home from work because I was sitting in bed with a laptop and just typed
Get your
out.
priorities straight. That's good.
It was a feverish bout of writing. So yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
I think Colin has a video we're going to post to the front page soon. Probably by the time people are listening to this.
Yes.
Hopefully, unless something terrible happens to the video.
Or the audio.
Yeah, our
I
audio.
don't have that shot anymore.
Space sabotage!
What happened to that shot?
But we got a lot of really cool. I say we. Colin got a lot of really cool footage from E3.
Oh yeah, it's very cool.
So it's a pretty neat video. A lot of interesting looks around the convention center, and maybe one or two secrets buried in the video.
Yep.
But anyway,
nothing beats the Claude look towards. But you know, I was actually really disappointed that I didn't hear the.
from the Metal Gear Solid.
So that is actually, I think it is. That is still set to private on our YouTube channel.
Oh, we've got to release it. It's the best thing. It's the best.
We'll have to wait until Claude has his back turned, and then we can release that to the masses. But you guys got anything else you wanted to talk about before we wrap things up?
I don't know. I think that covers a lot. That was a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You guys know of any like motion-based castle defense games?
Oh yeah.
No, sorry.
Because I hear
Can't think of
Phoenix was
any.
good. Kind of dead in the water, but not a lot of community support.
All right. Well, cool story, Graham. But I think that'll do it for this episode of
PBO.
the Starside Lounge, the official podcast of Destiny.Bungie.Org. I'd like to thank everybody for listening. If you got this far, if you've already turned the podcast off, well, I'm not going to thank you, but you're not going to hear me, so it's not going to matter anyway. We are on iTunes now, so you can subscribe to us on iTunes. We also have a fancy page on our website where you can download the MP3s or watch them on YouTube.
Yeah. Don't forget to rate the podcast too on iTunes.
Yeah, you should leave us a rating, 5 stars, 6 stars, however many stars they let you.
It's too bad we couldn't do 7.
You know, I'll have to talk to Apple about that. We'll get that fixed. But anyway, yeah, thanks for listening. If you want to talk about anything you heard on this podcast, we'd love to get your feedback on the forums.
You can just talk directly to the screen.
Yeah,
podcast
yeah,
is
just-
going. It's like you're there.
Out loud. I have a buddy that works for the NSA, and he'll relay it to me, and we'll get right on that and
Thanks,
improve
Microsoft.
for episode 3 of the podcast. But anyway, that'll do it for episode 2. Thanks for listening.